Hey everybody, I wanted to go ahead and kind of recap what we did in class today for those of you who weren't able to make it for whatever reason. So the focus of today's activity was learning how to combine like terms as well as use the distributive property to do that. So as kind of a review, which I'm sure most of you kind of did in 6th and 7th grade, is if you look at this particular expression, okay, I can't solve this expression, but I can simplify it by combining all my like terms. Now, a lot of people think that maybe you could just take that 3 and the 4, the negative 12, the 5, the negative 4, and the 10, add them all up, put them together, and then you got this big thing. But it doesn't work that way. You have to remember that like terms have to have the same variable, and they all have to be raised to the same exponential power. Now, all of these are just to the first power. We haven't got into multiple powers. Second power, third power, fourth power, anything like that. But what we can do is we can start combining these things. So everything that has an X can be combined. Everything that has a Y can be combined with Y's. And then all your constants can be combined. One thing I like to do is when I go to do this is I like to rewrite it and put all of my terms that are the same together. So I'm going to put 3x, negative 12x, and negative 4x in my equation or my expression that way. Then the next thing I'm going to do is bring in my 5y. Write that in a different color ink. Sorry, I'm looking kind of funny, but put 5y. So plus 5y. And then my last one, or my last two, are my constants, which are 4 and 10. So plus 4 plus 10. And then from there, I would always recommend using your calculator, especially if you're not extremely comfortable keeping your sign straight. So the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to combine these terms right here. So I'm going to add the coefficients of 3, negative 12, and negative 4. So I'm just going to punch it in just like that. 3 minus 12 minus 4. Now wait, you said negative 12 and negative 4. Are we subtracting or are we adding? What are you talking about, Mr. Stoker? Let me just show you real quick. If you just put the coefficients in like that, it's going to read them as a subtract. You could think of it like this, 3 plus negative 12 plus negative 4. But if you do that, you're still going to get, oops, I didn't put the negative sign there. So again, if you see that, you still end up with negative 13 either way, right? So if you want to think of it as adding negative numbers together, fine. If you want to think of it just like normal subtraction, fine. But however that works, you're going to end up with negative 13. So I have negative 13x. Okay, so all of those have been combined, so that's all done. I can't do anything with the 5y. There's no other y's, so that's all there is. So I'm just going to have plus 5y. And then my last one is going to be, I'm going to do 4 plus 10. And again, I'll just double check that with the calculator. 4 plus 10. Mr. Stoker, that's 14. Why did you use a calculator? Well, just to show you that it's okay. Some people have had a negative connotation of calculators. I want everybody to understand that they're a great tool. They don't do everything for you, but they can sure make your life a lot easier. I could use a handsaw to build something, but if I use a miter box or a powered handsaw, it's probably going to go a lot faster, right? Same thing with the calculator. So there's my simplified answer. That's all I can do. I can't solve it. If I wanted to solve it, I'd have to have something equals, and I'd have to have a number out here like equals 38, right? I can't do that, but I can finish right there, all right? So in today's ALEKS assignment, though, you might see something that looks more like this. Now, in this particular one, it's kind of tough to start solving it right now because you have this term out here. Now, if you remember yesterday, if you were in class, we talked about the distributive property. We talked about how the distributive property states that A times B plus C, you are capable of doing A times B plus A times C, right? So if I want to try to solve this one, the first thing that I'm going to have to do is go ahead and start combining, is use the distributive property here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the negative 3 that's out in front, and then I'm going to start multiplying it through that value in the parentheses. One quick thing, just in case you didn't remember, that v that's out there, if there's no coefficient in front of a v, that's a 1. A lot of people forget that. So what we really have now is we're going to do negative 3 times, I'm going to use blue for v's, v plus negative 3 times 2. Since those are constants, I'm going to keep those black. And then I'm going to use, I'm still in blue for v, so plus 6v, right? So now that I've done that, I now have my terms, right? I have negative 3 times 1, that's negative 3, plus, minus, so negative 3 times 2, negative 3 times 2, that leaves me negative 6. So I'm good there. So that's just going to be negative 6. And then my last one is going to be plus 6v. And then the only other thing I'll do is I write mine in order from least to greatest. 6v is bigger than negative 3v. That way I don't have to worry about all those signs. And then minus 6. And then I can combine my terms from there. So here I'm just going to do 6 minus 3. I'm not going to use a calculator for that because I think you all have gotten it from there. And I'm just trying to move forward. So that's going to give me 3v. And then nothing else to combine here, so minus 6. So if I did that right, in Alex, I should be able to input that, and that would be 3v minus 6. Let's see if I got that here. So 3v minus 6. And that's correct. Okay, the next example that I want to show you is number 6, and it looks a little bit different. So here is that one. Now, in this particular example, the only thing that's different is they now have a term in front of this one. So instead of multiplying this through, you're just going to multiply the negative 2, right? So I'm going to use blue for my y terms. So nothing happens with 3y. That's just going to stay there. But what I am going to do now is I'm going to do negative 2 times negative 6z, and then close that parenthesis, plus negative 2 times 2, times 2y, and then z's are in red. So I have another minus 6z over here. All right. All right, so now I can go through and I can do my multiplication here. So first things first, the 3y here comes straight down. Nothing happens there. Now I'm going to do negative 2 times negative 6. Just to show you again, some people had some issues with that. Double check with the calculator so that you don't mess your signs up. Because if you don't remember that negative 2 times negative 6 gives you a positive 12, when you go to put that answer in, it's probably going to count it wrong. Not probably, it will, because negative numbers and positive numbers are not the same thing. So there's that. So that's going to be plus 12z. Here, negative 2 times 2y is going to give you negative 4y. And then I still have that minus 6z back here. Okay, so now I'm going to start combining. Oops, I should have done that in blue. Sorry about that. That's probably a little confusing. It should end up like that, though. This should have been blue from the get-go. Sorry. 2y. And then from there, y comes before z in the alphabet, so I do my y's first. 3y minus 2y. And then my z's plus 12z minus 6z. And then I just combine. And for my final answer, 3 minus 2 is 1y. So I'm just going to write that single y. Don't need to write the 1 in front of it. And then 12 minus 6 is going to give me plus 6z, right? Because a positive 12 minus 6 is a positive 6. So there's that. And if I did it right, it should be y plus 6z for my answer. Y plus 6z. I check. Did I not? Okay, let me go back and look at my work. Where did I mess up? Obviously something. Oh, I know exactly where I messed up. And this is, again, why you want to write down all of this and make sure that you're doing it. I forgot to do my multiplying. -2 times 2 is going to give you -4y. And thus, I'm going to come back here and fix that. And that's going to be -4y. And now 3 minus 4 is what I really should have done to begin with. 3 minus 4, that gives me -1y. So my answer actually should be -y plus 6z. So let me go back and do that. -y plus 6z. Let me recheck that. And there it is. So everybody that ever says, why do I need to write your math stuff down? What's right here. So you can go back and fix that. I noticed right away that I didn't do that. And so it was able to go back, make the correction, and finish it out. So that's today's lesson. And yes, I did mess that up on purpose so that you all could see that I write it down. And if you make a mistake, that's how you would fix it. I knew what I was doing. Anyway, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me and go ahead and get this finished up. All right, have a good rest of the day, and I will see you all on Thursday.